Have you ever been somewhere that felt like a secret, not hidden on a map, but hidden in plain sight? A place so beautiful you almost don't want to tell anyone about it. Because the truth is the most breathtaking places in the world aren't always the most famous. So no, you won't find Paris here, no Rome, no Venice, not because they aren't beautiful, but because you've already seen them. Today we are going somewhere quieter, places that feel unreal, but somehow still untouched. At number 10, Hallstatt, Austria. Hallstatt feels like a place that shouldn't exist outside of a painting. Tucked between a still lake and towering alpine mountains, this small village looks almost too perfectly arranged. Rows of wooden houses sit right at the edge of the water, their reflections so clear it feels like the world has doubled. The streets are narrow, quiet, and unbelievably clean. Flower boxes hang from windows, boats drift slowly across the lake, and the only real sound is stillness. Even the mountains seem to lean in as if protecting something delicate. Hallstatt is not a place you explore quickly. You slow down without realizing it, and somewhere between the silence and the reflections, you start to feel like time has loosened its grip. Number 9. Wulingyuan, China. Wulingyuan doesn't look real. Thousands of tall, narrow sandstone pillars rise straight out of the ground, disappearing into mist. Some are covered in trees, some stand alone, and all of them feel impossible. This is the landscape that inspired the floating mountains in Avatar. And when you see it in person, you understand why. Clouds move between the pillars like slow rivers in the sky. Paths wind through forests that feel untouched. And viewpoints don't just show you scenery, they make you question scale, distance, even reality. Wulingyuan is not just beautiful, it feels like the earth imagined something and then decided to build it. Number 8. Colmar, France. Colmar is what happens when a storybook becomes a real place. Unlike Paris, which feels grand and iconic, Colmar feels intimate. Houses painted in soft pastels line narrow canals. Wooden beams, flower-filled windows, and tiny bridges create scenes that feel almost too perfect to be everyday life. This part of the town is called Little Venice, but it is quieter, slower, more personal. You walk through streets that don't feel designed for crowds but for moments. A bakery on one corner, a quiet cafe on another, reflections in the water that change with the light. Colmar doesn't overwhelm you. It gently pulls you in, and before you notice, you are smiling. Number 7. Giethoorn, Netherlands. Giethoorn is a village without roads. No traffic, no noise, no rush, just water. Instead of streets, there are canals, and instead of cars, there are boats. Small wooden bridges connect homes with thatched roofs and gardens that spill into the water. The loudest sound here is the gentle movement of a boat passing by. Life feels slower, not forced but natural. You don't check time in Giethoorn. You lose track of it, and maybe that is why it feels so different. Number 6. Sapa, Vietnam. Sapa doesn't reveal itself all at once. You arrive and at first you see mountains, then slowly you begin to notice the details. Terraced rice fields carved into hillsides like flowing patterns. Clouds that drift around you instead of above you. Villages that appear and disappear with the mist. Everything feels layered, light, landscape, life. Farmers move through the fields with a rhythm that hasn't changed in generations. Paths wind through valleys that feel untouched by time. Sometimes the clouds open just enough to show you something breathtaking, only for a moment. Sapa teaches you patience because the most beautiful things here don't stay visible for long. Number 5. Chefchaouen, Morocco. At first it is just blue, then you realize it is every shade of blue. Walls, doors, stairs, entire streets painted in soft, calming tones. It is not overwhelming, it is peaceful. Walking through Chefchaouen feels like stepping into a quieter state of mind. The light reflects differently here. Shadows feel softer. Even the air seems calmer. There are small markets, local conversations, in the presence of mountains surrounding the town. No rush, no urgency, just a place that seems designed to slow your thoughts. Number 4, Faroe Islands, Denmark. The Faroe Islands feel like a place you were not supposed to find. Sharp cliffs rise straight out of the ocean, grass grows thick and bright even in harsh weather, and small villages sit quietly surrounded by vast emptiness. There are moments where you cannot see another person for miles, only wind, water, and space. Waterfalls fall directly into the sea, clouds move quickly, changing the entire mood within minutes. It doesn't feel welcoming in the usual way, but that is what makes it powerful. The Faroe Islands don't try to impress you, they make you feel small, and somehow that feels right. Number 3, Alberobello, Italy. Alberobello doesn't feel like a city, it feels like a pattern. Hundreds of small, white houses with conical roofs spread across the landscape in perfect repetition. Each one looks simple, but together they create something strange and beautiful. Walking through Alberobello feels like stepping into a place that was designed with intention, but without explanation. Symbols painted on roofs, streets that curve gently, a quiet rhythm that feels different from the rest of Italy. It is not loud, it is not dramatic, but it stays with you because it doesn't feel familiar. Number 2, Benhaddou, Morocco. Benhaddou rises out of the earth itself. Made from clay and mud, its buildings blend perfectly with the surrounding desert. From a distance, it almost disappears. Up close, it feels ancient. Narrow passageways, tall earthen walls, a structure that has stood through centuries of change. It has been part of trade routes, history, and even cinema. But what makes it special is how untouched it feels. There is a stillness here, a quiet sense that this place is not trying to evolve. It is simply continuing. And number 1, Lofoten Islands, Norway. This is where everything comes together. Mountains rise sharply from the sea, almost vertically. Water sits so still it reflects everything perfectly. Red fishing cabins rest along the shoreline, adding just enough color to feel unreal. In summer, the sun barely sets. In winter, the northern lights move across the sky like something alive. It doesn't feel like a destination. It feels like a moment, a place where nature and stillness meet in perfect balance. You don't just visit Lofoten, you experience it completely. And maybe that is the difference between the places everyone talks about and places that stay with you. The most unforgettable places in the world aren't always the loudest. They are the quiet ones, the ones you almost missed. So tell me, would you choose what everyone already knows or what still feels like a discovery? Because sometimes the most beautiful places on Earth feel like they were waiting just for you.